Hello and welcome to the 5-0 podcast, your number one podcast for the SmashCPU Ultimate Draft League. I'm MaxSchersey and I'm joined by Mike, and we had an eventful week 3 of play that is really starting to show the shape of the league this year. How are you doing, Mike?
I'm doing pretty good. It definitely was a very eventful week. It was a very quick week too. Matches got done over the span of 3 days, including all 14 offline matches being done in one night, the same night as the undercard. So yeah, very chaotic. A lot of chaotic results to boot. Uh, but yeah, this has been a very good week of UDL. I'm looking forward to getting into an actual just normal schedule for UDL going forward. Uh, yeah, I
For the people, right? It sounds like it's going to be Thursday nights and Saturday nights.
for usually it's not locked into those nights, but it's what seems like for the most part it's gonna be Thursday and Saturdays.
There you go, everyone.
Yeah,
UDL, get excited. And with that, it is time for your weekly match recap. Let's go. In the main event this week, Crimson may have won the battle for the custody of the Grape 8, but he lost the war to Sickis 7-6. Somehow these Crimson rivalry matches always end up being some of the most entertaining offerings of the year, as Sickis' Mewtwo Sephiroth team had some incredible moments, and his Yoshi Sonic Corn squad clutched it up when it mattered most. Jaguar kicks Septo and the Shinobi in the Ninja Gaiden 9-4. Fox cleanly 2-0's Cloud and Stamina in this one. Jaguar's team is just disgusting, man. He had Yoshi and squads and me Gunner on the bench this week, and it just doesn't even slow him down at all. Mr. Wiggles takes an absolutely wild one over User 7-5. User has his Min beat King Ja Rule in Final Smash earlier in this match, only for Mr. Wiggles Wario to beat Wolf in Stamina. And then he took the last two events as well to close it out. Why is User always on the wrong end of these matches? Did he curse the UDL gods at some point? How far back does this go? This may take some investigating on our end. Mr. Wiggle Chic has low-key been taking games in singles, by the way. Maybe a developing story. Uh-oh, I shitted. Flushes parkour down the drain 7-4. His team pretty much follows the blueprint of Steve in Final Smash, Ice Climbers in Stamina, and Violet Sora in doubles. Steve beat Lucario this week in Final Smash. How about that? Pretty interesting. Weep wins the Battle of the Undefeateds over Corey 2016 6-5. The big one here was Duck Hunt beating Bowser in Final Smash. That is right, folks. Duck Hunt is looking like a problem. Him and Aegis really changed everything for this team this year. This might be Weeb's year. I'm starting to believe more every week. H-Kun beats Bling 7-5. His Marth and Palutena win a close win in doubles against Mario and Wario, which ended up being the difference in this one. Tribal wins over Gemini 7-5. DK cleaned up in Final Smash against Bowser Jr. Marth and Inkling beat Gemini's promising Kirby Meta Knight team pretty easily, and Fox beats Pikachu in Stamina in a close one 2-1. Those Fox stocks are going to the moon, people. Coach J takes it against Bren 7-5. This is another one of those bad team is supposed to lose and does lose. Though, Jade Samus and Dark Samus doubles team takes at least a game this week. Maybe getting out of this early season slump soon. I'm quite curious if this team is as bad as it looked in the first 2 weeks, but they're looking better now. Mike conspires against Adrian once again as he wins in the offline bull 7-6. For some reason, Adrian put Bayonetta in singles. I don't know. Apparently, there's some kind of backstory behind that. It gave Mike an opening, and then he took advantage with some close wins in doubles and squads as well to clinch out the win. Tep clutches one out over Smet 7-6. His Dr. Mario wins a matchup that he's not favored in, and that's obvious. And we are once again on Duck Hunt watch, people. He beats Pikachu 2-0 in Stamina. What are we doing, people? This is Duck Hunt's world, and we're just living in it. Giraffe sweeps the first three over V 7-6. It's Kirby, it's Yoshi, and it's Aegis that all do their job. J and P Man beats KJ 7-6. Kit and Me Sword Fighter almost blow it against a Rosalina Ice Climbers doubles team, but they do hold on, and it's a 2-1 in squads as well. Soul hands Omar Gosh his second of 3 losses on the year with a score of 7-6. Soul's newly acquired Shulk immediately makes moves and makes his team substantially better. He gets a 2-0 win in singles over Lucario, and Soul's Corn beats Aegis in stamina as well. Koichi beats Ridley 8-3, and this one is just kind of good team, bad team. Ridley's 1-set win here was in squads. Base gets a dub over Ice 7-6. Rob beats Olimar in singles, and the most broken character of all time, Wii Fit Trainer, helps Base get a win in doubles. Oh yeah, and Toon Link was also there. Samus, low-key looking really bad in doubles this year on the other end of things. Her fall-off over the years truly needs to be studied. Is there anything that can save her? We'll have to see. Best team in the league, Truck Bud, face off against winless old me, and it's a 7-6 win. Oh, wait a minute. Truck Bud's Ice Climbers was on +1 in stamina. Replay that set. No, it's Roy, who everyone doubted, getting a clean 2-0 win over Ice Climbers in the replay. Is this the annual MaxSchersey bargain bin breakout pick? It just might be. Also, Incineroar wins over Crom in Final Smash. We call that guy Punish Venom Incineroar now. This is a new man. Camazotz. Discord didn't like that. Whatever. I was whistling. Drops a 10 bomb on Mini Squix. This year, Camazotz's Simon Belmont is reminding everyone why he is still a threat in stamina. Slighted that the Belmonts have been slept on so much these past 2 years. Dusty gets his first win over Sunday, 6-4. Samus 2-0s Ridley in Final Smash in this one. That's pretty interesting. Mr. Devious himself, DeQuavius, is working 12s. Call that a 6-6 win over Wave. Wave did put in a random lineup, but even aside from that, DeQuavius' Wario gets a win over Wave's Shulk in Final Smash. Is that really an upset? I don't know. Wario's pretty good. The grind doesn't stop, as Theo was also working 12s with a 6-6 win over Orchid. Orchid now moves to 0-3 with only a -4 differential, which feels like some kind of record. I'm not sure if it is. Theo reverses in the last 3 events in this one. Pikachu squeaks out a dub in stamina, and Yoshi and Byleth do it in doubles. Corvette. Oh, wait. Is it possible? Yes. We have the third 6-6 in a row. 6-6-6-6-6-6. That's 6 sixes. Unbelievable summoning circle conjured by Corvette as he beats Gold here. He does it in the first 3, including the Sephiroth win over Hero in singles and Ganondorf over Ness in stamina. Leia wins 8-6 over Krillin, who is a sneaky 0-3 team right now after being on the playoff bubble seemingly every year prior to this. It's the same Leo formula as usual, with his middle 3 doing it. Steve seems to make it interesting for Leo and FS, but he's getting those wins regardless. Vivtech builds up his differential yet again with a 9-3 win over Akagi. Just 3 blowout wins in a row for this guy. This week he does it in the first 3 with relative ease. Sonic, Steve, and Aegis, and it's over. And finally, Tonki wins the Denko Bowl over Jiu 8-4. Wii Fit Trainer now beats Sora in singles, and I'm honestly not sure if that's an upset either. And Tongi wins squads with the filler character as well in this one. And that's this week's matches in the Ultimate Draft League.
I really liked the kicked into Shinobis in the Ninja Gaiden. That was...
You like that?
Also, the 3 6-6 wins in a row, dude, they're like... It feels like this game is just teasing us for the first true 7-6 win of the year. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it is...
It's going to happen.
Insane. Can't wait for it to happen in the finals for once. But yeah, nice job with the recap as always, Max.
Thank you.
I think it's time we're going to head into the division recap talk now. Starting with the B Conference, with the Vent Division. The 2-3-0 teams, VTech and H-Kun, they're still definitely looking overall dominant. H-Kun did get away with a bit of a robbery this week with a doubles 2v1 with Marth against Mario and Wario that ended up giving him the win. And also, VTech has had a bit of a weak schedule so far, don't get me wrong. 3 random opponents to this point. But don't let that fool you. I mean, a 17 differential, no matter what the schedule is, a 17 differential through 3 weeks is very, very impressive. VTech is beating these teams as badly as a good team should, consistently. Giraffe, looking definitely to keep pace with the top two teams in here as of right now. Did end up being a close win over V this week, which you're still going to take wins anytime UDL, especially early on in the season before divisional play, just stacking up that record. And yeah, Giraffe definitely looking like a strong contender for Rookie of the Year so far. And Crimson and Smet, after I talked them up last week, they're definitely looking for answers right now after some close losses.
I honestly don't know. Like that week one prediction is already looking really bad. When I'm like, Smet is one of the best teams in the league. He looked like it week one, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's been going on with him. It's basically the same lineup he's running out there, but just not getting the same results.
Yeah, but both those two have interesting matchups against Mr. Wiggles and Base, respectively, this week. So we shall see how those play out. Then moving on to the Fish Division. It's a good week to be a Soul fan because he was the only team in this division to win this past week. The Soup Division kind of farmed them low-key. But Soul, the only one to get a win. He went from bottom of the division to second now, technically, with a -6 differential. Yeah, crazy. But Soul also starting to make some more roster moves. We shall see how that plays out. It's a weaker start for Ice for the second year in a row. And again, he has been a second half team for these last few years. Does he have enough magic to make another late season run? Will he even need to? I mean, we're only a quarter of the way through the season. 1-2 start is far from over. You literally need to win one game this week, and you're back to 500. And it's another rough loss for User. His team just needs to find some consistency fast because he has just lost in some of the most heartbreaking ways over these last 2 years. So hopefully he can start to find some consistency, just get some comfortable wins under his belt, and not have a heart attack mid-match every week. Then moving on to the Soup Division. Like, this is genuinely might be the most insane divisional race we have ever had. It's up there with the Corn Division last year and also the Beta Division from 2023. Like, cannot tell in the slightest, honestly, who's going to walk away with the division crown until week 6, until divisional play starts. And even then, it's absolutely going to be a bloodbath through the second half in this division. Because even with Omar Gosh as the bottom team right now, 1-2, even he's the only team who's beaten Sickest so far this season, who is one of the top teams in the Baymax Division. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this one plays out. If I had to pick one team right now who I would give the bit of the favorite to, if I had to pick one purely based off of the schedule overall, I'd probably say Tribal, but that's because I think his schedule is a little bit easier than Kuishi and Weebs. But again, if any of those three teams wins this division, I would not be shocked in the slightest. Then moving on to the Baymax Division. A -4 differential for the team in first place, TEP. It says a lot for how the state of this division so far. It's just been plenty of close results all around in both the win and loss column. I mean, just look at V at the bottom. 0-3 with only a -6 differential. Like I mentioned with Orchid earlier, 0-3 with only a -4. So hopefully it keeps up going into divisional play for this division. I said last week, and I'm sticking by it. This division, I feel like, is going to be just super close, like a 7-5 type winner, kind of like the Apple division from last year. Again, I was joking about calling it the Car Bomb Division 2.0. This division is definitely not as bad, or at least it very likely won't be as bad as that division last year. But yeah, very excited to see how all of these teams play each other, like how close they keep it once we hit that second half of the season. Then moving on to the P Conference. Starting off with the True Division.
True!
Jaguar is just continuing his redemption tour right now. He already has half his win total from last year, only through 3 weeks. And he has been beating some solid rosters to do it, too. Like a nice 5-point win over Septo this week in the rivalry match, the Ninja Gaiden. And then it seems like a pretty clear hierarchy in this division is forming as of right now. I would say the top three and there's a fairly clear top three and bottom three right now, I would say. Even though Max and Squix have the same record, I think Squix being a random lineup kind of groups him a bit more in the bottom three. But I think his team is definitely a step above Jihu and Sunday. But keep an eye out for my co-host, Mr. Shersey, over there. He's definitely probably the biggest wild card in this division right now. I mean, again, getting a nothing short of miraculous win, question mark, against Truckmud this past week. Is his team starting to get the plot armor? We shall see.
The most important thing in this league is plot armor. Keep that in mind.
That is very true. Very true. Very fitting for the true division. And then one last little note. Everyone, place your bets right now on who's finishing last in this division. Is it going to be Jihu? Is it going to be Sunday? You throw a wild card in there and say it's Squix? I don't know. Maybe Bet CPU. Call me to get that little sponsorship set up. We shall see. Moving on to the Pain division. The four-way arms race in this division, still keeping up with it. Uh-oh has a slight lead at the moment, but it's seeming more and more clear that the bottom two are getting left further and further in the dust with DeQuavius and Orchid. But poor Orchid, again, like you mentioned earlier, 0-3 with a -4 differential. I think that's very similar to Soul at the beginning of last year. I remember Soul had...
Yeah, that was something like that. I remember, yeah.
Soul had a lot of close losses to begin last year, and he did end up salvaging the season 2 a 6-6 record, but just barely fell short of the playoffs in week 12. Maybe Orchid will be able to do the same thing here. Again, if that does happen, this division is going to go right up there with the with the Soup division, sorry, as just absolute chaos to watch. And again, with this four-way arms race right now, it definitely feels like Leo has been a bit more under the radar compared to the other three top teams in the division. Probably mainly because Leo did have that loss to Mini Squix in week 1. But definitely keep an eye on him. He's been making some free agency moves. I think the only one of these four teams to make free agency moves so far. And his team roster practically is VTech Junior right now. I'm sorry, Leo, you're the VTech Junior because he's 3-0, you're 2-1. But hey, I mean, if you end up getting a better record than him, then maybe VTech will be Leo Junior. Shall see. Moving on to the Franklin division, it's crazy what difference 1 week can make, because Wave slip up this past week of forgetting to get a lineup in. It made this division feel so much closer already. I mean, you see Theo taking the lead right now due to Theo having a 2-0 conference record while everyone else has at least one conference loss. Division leading despite the -4 differential as well. It's, I guess similar situation to TEP, but again, this division does feel a bit more stacked overall compared to the Baymax division. We'll see. Parkour, also again like a sneaky 2-0 team after the first 2 weeks. We'll see if Parkour can keep up that success after taking his first loss to this past week. It definitely feels like that. It feels like a bit of a trap for teams that like get a lot of close wins early on, that they definitely start to fall off once they have that first loss. But we shall see if Parkour is able to keep the success up and secure his best record overall in a UDL season. And then finally, the Waters division. As we all predicted after week 3, Camazotz is leading the division right now.
It's Don Dolt.
It is Don Doltz. Oh my gosh. Omar gosh. Whatever you want to say. But also something that we obviously also predicted after last week, that Tungi would be in second technically. Early season Tungi. He's at it again. And then Truckmud's still falling down to third. Still right there, though. I mean, you got 3 2-1 teams, 3 1-2 teams. In this division, it feels like legitimately anyone can beat anyone else in this division, and I wouldn't be surprised really in the slightest. Like, I don't even think I could say that about like the Soup or the Pain division, honestly. This division isn't as stacked on paper as those other two divisions, but it's going to be... This division race is, I think, going to end up being a bit crazier than we thought, because it seemed like Truckmud might run away with it, and she might still just get right back on track. We shall see, though. We did see with Truckmud last year, even though she did get third overall. She did that third overall in the league in the playoffs. She did have that 5-loss streak. from weeks 7
6
to
to 11.
11. Yeah,
7 to
so
11. Yeah,
let's see how this all plays out here. And as one little bonus thing, I'm not going to put it up on the slide for this one. Uh, but after week 4 is usually when we start to do the playoff updates after each week. I'm not going to make a full post about it, but I do have what the playoffs would look like after 3 weeks here. If you want to see the absolute craziness of early season UDL, just go through that real fast. In the B conference, so far your top 4 seeds in order would be VTech, Koishi, TEP, and of course Corey 2016. Your 5th through 9th seeds would be HKun, Tribal, Weeb, Base, and Giraffe. And then in the P conference, first seed, top 4 seeds, you have Jaguar, Uh-Oh, Camazotz, and Theo. 5th through 7th seeds, Tungi, Jade, Gold, and then 8th and 9th is Truckmud and Adrian. Obviously, especially in these early weeks, that playoff race is going to change up a lot. But I'm just excited to see as division play is approaching more and more. We're going to start to see the records take more of a solid shape. It should be a lot of fun and very chaotic as always. So, this week we're doing it a little bit differently for the viewer questions. As I probably explained in the earlier segment that we recorded, we are doing a live Q&A session after the summer CPU meeting. So, let's get into some viewer questions.
Nice.
Okay, there
All
we
right.
go. Does anyone have a first question for me and or Max?
Yes, I have a question.
What is your question, soldier?
Um, what is your what was the biggest surprise of this entire week? Set
Big,
wise or character wise?
biggest surprise of this past week. I should probably pull up the UDL sheet for a second. That would be pretty good.
Yes.
Goodness.
I mean, biggest surprise overall, I would say either in terms of results, either DeQuavius over Wave, even though Wave did forget to put a lineup in, it was still like that. I think that definitely still was a bit of an upset. Uh, Base over Ice, also a pretty big upset. Or definitely Mr. Wiggles over User. Maybe not in the
That's what I was gonna say.
yeah, like
That was an insane set. I watched that afterwards.
yeah, not necessarily in the like that the fact that Mr. Wiggles beat User, honestly, but more so in the way that it happened. Uh, Actually, or then again, I don't know if it's at with User's UDL luck these last couple years. Maybe reverse 3-0 actually should have been more expected. I don't know.
Fair.
All right, we got another viewer question from the muted gang. Oh, here comes Tribal.
All right, so I have a question. Even though we're only 3 weeks in, do you feel like there are any characters who have performed beyond the expectations of their dollar value, or if there's any characters, vice versa, that have underperformed to their dollar value?
Mewtwo and Duck
Yes.
Hunt.
Ooh, Duck Hunt's a good one.
Duck Hunt's fucking cracked. I'm so sold.
I didn't even think about Duck Hunt. Mewtwo though for sure has definitely been performing very well. Adrian posted the records the records earlier, and said like Mewtwo went 4-2 this week, and that was his worst week yet. Like that's insane. Uh, Another character. I mean, it's one that's definitely been more of a prevalent storyline, at least this past week for sure. But Cloud, at least in stamina, we bring it up a lot on the main card.
Cloud's off-season champion for sure.
Yeah,
he has not beat the allegation so far.
At least in stamina. In doubles, he still looks pretty good so far. But yeah, in stamina, he has definitely not lived up to the hype just yet.
What do we think of Game and Watch in that case? I haven't kept up with stats.
I mean, I think it's kind of your fault if you drafted him thinking he wasn't going to be an off-season champion, honestly. So I don't know if that's to say he's underperforming, because to me, like, not really. That depends on who you
I
are.
honestly feel like Game & Watch is performing to about expectations so far. I don't know. Because he did just lose to Ken for in the main card, but I think he also has performed well for in weeks prior to this, and I think he's been doing decently well for Tungi. I don't have the stats all like right in front of me right now, but it's definitely not. I think he's definitely doing better than last year for sure, but still maybe not living up to the hype at the moment. All right.
Essentially,
Any more questions?
Essentially, same question as Tribals, but with the higher up value characters.
Oh, so like higher up value characters that are still even performing above
Or below, yeah.
Okay.
Well, we said Cloud. He's
Cloud's been
$5.
performing above expectations so far. Let me look at the list of the characters. Let's look through here. It's kind of hard to say for like the $5.
What about Shulk, Mike?
Shulk? Well, I ended up trading Shulk away, but Shulk went 1-1 for me. He lost in singles and won an FS meter the next week. I mean, he did immediately win for Soul after I did trade it to him. I feel like Shulk's been slightly underperforming so far. Because we also had the we had the what should I call it? Wario over Shulk back-to-back weeks, right? Once in singles and once in FS meter. Jeez, dude. Yeah, Shulk definitely has been underperforming a bit now I'm thinking about it. And honestly, I would
Crom's
say
looked like $7.
I was about to say Crom, yeah. And this isn't even like a biased thing for the absolute robbery that happened to me in week 1. Just in general, he's like we knew Crom is good in FS meter, like we knew that. But the fact that he has looked like probably the best character overall in FS meter so far for $5, that is really good.
Dude, he's become uncool very quickly for me when he just be like dash across the screen, kill people with his FS at 0 when they're like,
I have never.
Not even off stage. It's like, this is fucking bullshit. Fuck this
guy. Thus is the cycle of liking and hating CPUs. Once a CPU starts to do too well, they become hated for the most part.
It's also fucking ultimate.
Well, I think that's the joke I've mentioned before, is that at some point of time, every single character in Smash Ultimate will become cool or uncool. It's like every character will just probably have their own hate cycle at some point.
True.
Very true.
So true.
All right. Next question? Question mark? Here comes
I have
Jack
a question for a change.
Okay.
So in these first 3 weeks of VODL, what's been your favorite rivalry match, and which one are you looking forward to most in the coming week or two?
That's a good question. Favorite rivalry match, like, just thinking about it, not even biased so far, me versus Adrian was very good. And sorry to say, Crimson, you versus Sickest is also definitely up there.
Yeah, that was a great set regardless of the result. That was
I'm just gonna
good
say
entertainment.
this. I put that recap into the freaking Riz report, and I literally said, you guys get to pause and look at the score. I am not recapping this or showing any clips. I'm not in the mood.
That's real beef.
I was just not in the mood. I did at least was fair, and I did put the slap thing where I got the freaking slapped FS thing as a clip, but it's like, I literally said, not in the mood to play any clips. Go into the archives and watch them. This is just, it was not a good recording. I just wanted to get it done for consistency, you know? So it's like, I was just not in the freaking mood.
Yeah, I would say the top 2 so far were the ones from this past week. Me versus Adrian and Crimson versus Sickest, but I would probably say Bren versus Ridley as a low key like third best one so far.
Honestly, true.
And the one that I'm personally looking forward to, oh my gosh, I forgot how many there are in week 7. Jeez.
A lot.
What do we got for week 7? I can't pull it right
I'm
now.
counting it right now. I think there is 11 in week 7 alone.
That's about half.
I mean, obviously it's a bit of a maybe a bit of a cop out answer, but I feel like the Boomer Bowl, but especially with Max and Ice both having a bit
every year.
Yeah, every year, but also with both you guys starting out 1 and 2 right now. We'll see what, like, obviously there's a lot to go till week 7, but with like you guys both starting a bit under the usual starts, we'll see how that plays out. If that turns into like a 3-3 versus 3-3, or like a 3-3 versus 2-4, that could get really interesting really quickly.
Dude, I thought I buried him with the win last year, and that every match after that he won and made the playoffs barely. So I'm trying to actually bury him this year. That's a goal,
folks.
I have another question. Because I was listening to what Sickest was saying during the main card. What is your opinion on Dittos? Because Sickest lost 2 Dittos. I know me and you, Mike, had a Ridley Ditto last year.
And I also had two Dittos versus BP last year too. Yeah. And lost all 3 of them.
This is just one of those unwritten rules of UDL, right? You don't tempt fate by purposefully going for a Ditto. You will always lose, no matter what. That's just
the
universal
only time
truth.
It has worked out for me. I think 2024 was the karma for this. Was that I purposely went for a Ditto against Sickest in the 2023 playoffs, and that ended up being the thing that pushed me over the edge to win that match. So I guess maybe I paid for that karmic sin for 2024. I don't know, but I do agree. Yeah, you don't want to go for a Ditto specifically. It's just
yeah. I genuinely dislike the concept of putting my character in for a Ditto match, especially in the first 3 events, because if I lose, then all I could think of is, oh, I should have counterplayed it. I should have had a character that would have countered that.
This is also the reason why I did it against Sickest in the 2023 playoffs, though, is that when I was doing testing, none of my guys really, like, I didn't feel comfortable with any of my guys going against Ensign in singles. So that's why I'm like, you know what? Let's just put it in for the Ditto, and I feel more comfortable with these guys elsewhere. So let's do that instead. That's like the only time I think you should go for a Ditto. Other than that, it's like a last resort type thing.
Back to the rivalry question, I looked at it again, and honestly, I do also want to see Koichi Theo. Not anything to do with UDL so far this year, but just because that's like, I feel like that's one of the few ones that's there's actually some history behind it prior to the season.
That's true.
I need to see the
and they will definitely get Ditto in that matchup.
Yeah.
Whoever wins gets rights to Libre.
Oh, we're having another custody battle? Is that what we're doing? Is custody battles the main theme of UDL? Is that it now? Is everything a custody battle? We have custody battles over Grape Ape. We have custody battles over literally people.
Custody battle was bullshit. I didn't beat it, so don't count.
We have custody battles over like crew members now. Like what?
Motherfucker. Oh my god.
It's crazy.
All right.
Any more questions?
So between the 2 conferences, or I guess answer for both conferences, do you think there's going to be like a division that is going to be taking up most of the wild card slots, or what division do you think is going to be the most competitive?
Well, I mean, this isn't even just
what's that one that has 4 2-1 teams right now?
Soup division, where 2 of the people in this call right now are from the Soup division.
5 of them. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone who's stuck there.
Yep.
I do think it is that the division is going to start to filter itself out a bit more as soon as divisional play starts. Like, it's not going to be like all like 4 wild cards from one division, but yeah, that's looking like Corn division, but even better as of right now. And then also, I would say Pain Division from the P Conference is probably going to take up the most wildcard spots if I had to guess. All right. Any more questions?
I know. I'll let you go first, Koichi.
Okay. What is your opinion on? Oh, where is it? The. It's the one that Max is in, whatever that division is called.
Oh,
with,
the
like,
True Division.
True Division.
True. The True Division, like all the negative records.
Oh,
Do
differential.
you think so? Yeah, differential. Sorry. Do you think some people are gonna be stuck in that rut, and that's gonna play an effect into things, or?
I don't know, because I mean both Squix and Max have that low of a differential right now because they just had one bad loss, really, kinda.
Yeah.
So, or at least more in Squix's case. Max had the two kind of bad losses first 2 weeks and then climbed out of it some this past week. But I don't think it's gonna really be a huge like rut type thing because I mean differential has mattered I think once for playoffs or twice, so it's not like a guarantee to really be like weighing them down. It's like the biggest thing obviously is like conference and different divisional record. So I could see. I mean, I guess maybe with having more teams, just like 24 teams in each conference vying for those like those nine spots, 5 wildcards. I could see differential maybe mattering more this year, but I don't think it's really going to be like a huge rut that they're not going to be able to get out of.
I think differential is honestly more interesting as like, I mean, obviously it is a tiebreaker, it has playoff implications, but more of like an estimator of how like lucky or unlucky a team is, or like how seriously you should take their current record is more of how I usually treat it.
That's fair. Yeah.
That's like, I don't know, that's not perfect, right? Because like you can like win a blowout 9-3 against a bad team, and then that inflates your differential, or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. Like it's pretty early because like those like, I mean, a 9-3 blowout can happen any week at this point. Like I wouldn't actually start worrying about differential for playoff implications till like week like 8, week 9, right? At that point, it's like you're kind of running out of time to build a cushion again. But until then, I'm not really looking at it personally. Crimson had one, I think. And then how long have we been recording, Mike?
This segment's been going on for a little under 17 minutes.
Okay, let's do Crimson and then
one
end
more.
it.
Or one more. Okay, we're end it.
As early as it is, who do you think has like the best shot, like looking forward of making it to finals?
I think it's the finals.
Had to pull a name out of a hat.
Yeah, so once again, we need to have Uh-Oh's bet CPU.
And the power rankings too.
Yeah, and the power rankings.
Uh-Oh's gonna start on that hopefully next week because for the community report we're gonna start putting the winners into it. So Uh-Oh told me that they're gonna start on it either next week or the week after.
Right now,
H-Good.
It's H-Good until it's not.
Maybe right now so far H-Kun's kind of giving me the vibes of Tribal from 2022, where at least this last win for sure gave me those vibes, and if it continues, then we'll see, because like what Tribal in that season just kind of found ways to win like almost every other week it seemed like. And obviously, like with HQ this week, that Marth 2v1 was an absolute robbery, which ended up giving him the win. So we'll see. I can agree with that though. Probably as HQ until it's not.
It is HQ. I'm sending the controller GIF again.
It's hard for me to say any of the teams from the Soup Division right now, not because you guys are
HQ's
bad.
not even in first place in his division.
That's
by the
true.
way.
That
I
is
feel
true.
Like we should mention that.
Yeah, it is VTech. VTech has had a very a pretty easy schedule so far, though, but he has been whooping those teams like he should. It's hard for me to say any of the teams in the Soup Division right now, not because you guys are bad by any means. It's more so that that division is just too good. But then again, maybe the team that ends up winning the Soup Division or one of the teams from there ends up being battle tested and ready for the playoffs. So I don't know. That whenever you have like a just super stacked division like that, the dynamics with that is always super interesting. We shall see how that all plays out. But I think I can agree with the HQ until it's not, because I mean literally he's 8-0 in the playoffs all time. No one has ever beaten him in the playoffs, so yeah. We shall see.
Damn you, HQ. Looking like SSF2 Lucario.
Don't remind me. All right. I think that's good to probably end it there. So I mean,
it sounds like that's it for the 5-0 podcast, everyone. Yeah. Thank you all for tuning in.
Sayonara.
We got a very stacked week 4 coming up. We got the two hosts were going at it. Honestly, kind of surprised we didn't get a question about that, but it's all good. We got VTech versus Weeb, a battle of 3-0 teams this week coming up. Who else? What are some other interesting matches? We got Jaguar Wave. We got a TSK battle. We got Ice versus Tep. I think the first time that those two have ever met. And yeah, and then a lot more, honestly. It should be a very fun week. We're finally getting into a normal schedule for UDL. Get excited. We still got 3/4 of the regular season to go.
Let's go.
Thank you for listening to the 5-0, and we'll see you guys then.